In 1971, Professor Philip Zimbardo, a psychologist at Stanford University, decided to run an experiment to see how much situations could change people's behavior. He wanted to know what would happen when people were forced into the roles of guards or prisoners. For this experiment, Zimbardo himself took on the role of the prison superintendent and turned the university basement into a mock prison, with small cells, dark hallways, and solitary confinement rooms. Everything looked like a real prison, but no one was actually in danger, and no real police were involved. It was all done with volunteers in a controlled simulation. The student volunteers were randomly split into two groups, guards and prisoners. Prisoners wore simple numbered uniforms, while guards got uniforms, sunglasses, and batons that made them feel powerful. From day one, the basement felt heavy and tense. It was cold and dark, and even the smallest noise made the place feel more real. At first, everything was relatively calm. Both prisoners and guards were following their roles carefully, and behavior seemed controlled. But gradually, strange things started happening. The guards, even without specific orders, began asserting power and controlling the prisoners. They gave commands, made prisoners do humiliating tasks like kneeling, repeating embarrassing statements, or following strict rules that got stricter each day. Prisoners who were initially brave and confident began feeling anxiety and fear. Some cried, some stayed silent, and many just adapted to survive the situation. Zimbardo, playing the role of the prison superintendent, was surprised by what he saw. He realized that even normal volunteers, when put in a position of power, could do things they never imagined before. Some guards seemed to enjoy the control and were harsh and humiliating, while others were shocked and upset by their own actions. This made Zimbardo reflect deeply on the power of situations and how the environment can shape people's behavior. One striking thing was that even though the prisoners knew the experiment was just a simulation and no real danger existed, they still felt extreme psychological stress. They experienced real anxiety, depression, and fear. Some even asked to leave the study, but the guards either joked or pressured them to stay, showing just how strongly the environment could affect people. After 6 days, the psychological impact became too intense, and Zimbardo decided to stop the experiment. Around that time, his girlfriend came to visit the experiment. Seeing the situation firsthand, she realized the experiment had become too real and dangerous. Her presence helped Zimbardo see things more clearly, and he decided to end the study immediately. The Stanford Prison Experiment is a striking real-life example of how situations and environments can influence human behavior. It showed that even ordinary people, when put under certain pressures and in roles of power, can do things they never thought they were capable of. This experiment remains one of the most famous and controversial studies in psychology, offering deep lessons about ethics, responsibility, and how the environment shapes human behavior. There was zero time for reflection. By the third day, I was sleeping in my office. I had become the superintendent of the Stanford County Jail. That was who I was. I'm not the researcher at all.